gone for 2 weeks and I forgot.
You missed the turbulence. Had to bring back some turbulence.
Welcome everyone to Our Town Podcast. Please take a moment to like and subscribe, share if you can, and review if available. We'd love to hear from you, so comment below and tell us how we're doing. Don't forget to visit ourtownpodcast.com for all the links and join the members only section of the website or sign up on Patreon. Now here are the boys of Our Town Podcast.
Yay! Yay! That's all of us, right? Gentlemen! It feels like it's been a long time. This doesn't feel like it's all there. How's it going, boys?
It's great. Good to see you.
Welcome back, Chuck.
Yeah, it's been a couple of weeks. And I see nothing's really changed around here.
There are days.
Except sunshine.
Yeah, no, it's really nice. Yeah,
It's been really nice, huh?
Well, Chris did offer to take your spot if he didn't come back.
Oh, that was so generous of him. Yeah, right on.
But you did come back.
Yeah, I did come back.
And we're happy to.
Welcome everybody to another exciting edition of Our Town Podcast. Coming to you from the I Am Renton space in beautiful and historic downtown Renton, Washington.
Yeah, and I think today with the amount of cars rolling by, people, etc., it just shows Jeff's proof of concept.
Oh, yes. I forgot to tell them when I was in Cork, they have a sign that said IamCork.com.
Did you volunteer to fight anybody?
Bring it on, you feckers.
Yeah.
Which is, speaking of which, is tonight's safe word, boys, is feckers.
Oh,
That came up a lot in our travels in the beautiful Emerald Isle. And the wife and I were playing on that all the time. We were like, watch out for that fecker there while we're driving, and just like,
Well, I
it's
mean,
hard not to pick it up.
It's basically Irish, the Irish version of the fuck, but they also still say fuck, so.
They do, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but
But I mentioned feck is like heck. You
yeah.
can say H-E-double-T, or you can say heck.
Yeah.
It's like Battlestar Galactica when they were fracking.
Oh.
What the frack?
What the frack? Yeah, and they got away with it. I mean, everybody knew what they were saying, but
Oh man, that's the funny thing.
Well, if you think that's hilarious, then you should definitely check out Mrs. Brown's Boys. You can find it on YouTube or on BritBox. It's an Irish sitcom.
do they do fracking
Oh,
or what do they do?
They swear all the fucking time on that show.
Nice. I mean, true to life, right? True to life. What's going on with you guys? The last couple of weeks?
The life there. Lots of life.
Yeah. A
Yeah.
little bit of life.
A little bit of life.
Yeah. Nothing. No big time. Nothing. Soup hoops.
I mean, sorry.
Oh, gee, dead.
I'm eating a cookie here. Sorry.
Yeah.
I did the VR improv thing last week. And one of the running jokes in the shows is that various members, when they're doing these games and they're coming up with stories and things to talk about, they'll pick a random member of the cast and create a sex toy for them.
Oh, nice.
So, like, one person has a blow-up doll, one person has a butt plug. And last Saturday, I got the titty tickler. So, yeah. Todd's titty tickler.
Todd's titty tickler.
Yeah.
The triple T.
It was so funny. I shared videos of it on my page and I'll send it to you.
It looks like a prompt for your improv.
It was one of those like, it was a bit called Three-Headed Expert where you have the person doing the interview and you have three people and each person can only say one word and they have to do a coherent conversation. So like, I would say the, you might say toy, and you would say like is, and they just go like that.
Yeah.
And but they had to come up with a product to talk about, and someone suggested Todd's titty tickler, and I just started cackling. It was just so funny.
Well, right on. I also saw that you went down to the Erasmus celebration, the birthday celebration.
Yeah.
How was that? Down here in beautiful downtown.
Oh yeah, it was great. They had There was belly dancers, and there was mermaids and pirates, and
Sweet.
all kinds of vendors. And I saw Bill.
How'd that go?
I mean, it was. He asked about you guys, and I was like, yeah, I haven't seen one in a couple weeks. So,
Nice.
yeah.
Nice. I saw the balloon thing that they did. They did a good job on that.
Yeah, there's less smoke coming out.
Yeah.
And now we have weather for sunny.
That's right. What did they do? Did they hide a bunch of dinosaur eggs around town or something?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Scavenger hunt.
Yeah, we didn't do that, but yeah, we had a scavenger hunt. And do that every year, I think.
Yeah, it's been successful.
Nice. Sorry, that's not me too. I don't know. Hey, what the hell were you doing?
Yeah. Hey, I also saw the, remember the juggler lady from the Oddmall?
Oh, yeah.
She was there.
Oh, nice.
He's like, I said, are you the same juggler lady from the Oddmall? He said, yes. I'm the juggler lady from the Oddmall. You know me? I was like, maybe.
That's her professional.
That's awesome. That's a tagline to that. Yeah, that's relatively simple. Right?
That's next weekend.
Yeah, there we go.
Are you doing it this year?
Yeah, I didn't sign up for this year.
Has it been a year?
Well, he did he does oddball and then he does spring, something, spring or something. So, I went to I brought you guys back some stuff. Todd, I hope you like this.
Okay.
Is that an egg
from
from
your?
Ireland?
This is from Ireland.
Really?
This is from your granny's home city, beautiful Avoca, which was a stop we made on Todd's suggestion. And they have the longest, oldest running weeping mill in Ireland. And it was a fascinating, we did the tour and everything, and it's very
Yeah, spit off your fat and gobshite. Yeah, gobshite is basically like asshole.
Right.
It's like asshole or dickhead. Yeah.
So that scarf was actually made with mostly Irish wool, but right there on site in Avoca.
Wow.
Cool. Just down the street from the church.
That's super cool.
Just in time for summer.
Yeah, well, I mean, come on.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, this is good. Thank you.
Yeah. And Mike, and there's
Feel that. Feel that.
isn't that nice?
Oh, come on. Come on.
I mean, have to wear it because of how tough it is.
Mikey in Dublin, we stopped by a comic book shop. I stopped by a comic book shop and I got you a true Irish comic. Printed in Ireland, and I got you a little mug.
Oh,
Just in
geez.
case you need a new.
I do almost need a brush.
Because we did tour the Guinness.
Very nice.
Factory. So
It's a lovely day for a Guinness.
it's always a lovely day for a Guinness, which was pretty cool. I'm not a Guinness guy, but we toured the thing and they've really done a good
Did
job.
you try some of it from over there?
Oh, I had Guinness, yeah. It's better than it is here, but I'm still not a Guinness guy. They actually have a couple of beers that I liked. One was the Guinness Lager, which was really good. And then the other was Hartman Lager.
Oh,
But I could only find it in a couple of spots. I had it in Northern Ireland, and then I found it in one other place, but I tried a bunch of different Irish lagers.
This is definitely going on the back of my truck.
Yes, I figured you would. And then that sticker is from the comic book. So this is printed, drawn, everything right in Ireland.
Ooh, the bottom
Road.
The Bog Road. It's a very Irish story.
Yeah,
right out there.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, what was the, thank you very
You're
much.
very welcome.
What was the topography? I mean, it's mostly grasslands, it's
It
mostly...
really depends on where you're at. Most of what we saw was sheep farms. But rolling hills, what you picture, the green grass, the rock walls, the hedgerows, sheep everywhere, little baby sheeps, really cute little lambs everywhere. Yeah, we actually saved a lamb coming down the road. We stayed in this little weird cottage up a bunch of dirt roads, and spent one night there. It was on a farm, and then on the way out on the road, I looked out of the corner of my eye and saw this lamb coming out of a gate away from its mom,
Yeah.
right into the road. It wasn't a busy road, but some friggin' farm boys gonna come barreling in a tractor and kill this thing. But so we jumped out and the kids all ran over and herded it back to its mom and stuff like that. So wow, yeah, kind of fun. A lot of weird little areas, but we did pretty good. We went started in Belfast. Went all the way up to Giant's Causeway, got to see Scotland from across the water, which was cool. We did kind of a Game of Thrones tour where they took us to some of the filming locations, which was kind of interesting, but they were all, famous castles and stuff like that. The next day we cruised down to Athlone, which is sort of right in the middle of the country, and then over to Galway, and then down south, and then back up into Dublin. So we kind of made a big loop. We just didn't hit that northwest corner. So.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the name of the little island off the coast of Ireland that they filmed that all those scenes with the birds on in Star Wars.
Oh, with the Luke Skywalker? Yeah.
No getting the weird thing.
Where can I get some of that milk? Got any of that milk?
Yeah, I have no idea what that's called. I knew what it was.
Yeah, I know I've been told a number of times what it's called, but yeah, I was just telling someone yesterday that the reason why we have the porgs in those movies is because those are puffins.
And they couldn't hide
And it's illegal to touch them.
So they have to like, digitally throw something over it.
It makes them look alien, so yeah.
Nice. We did go to the Cliffs of Moher, which is on the west coast, about midway up, just south of Galway. And we took not only a boat tour, but we went up above and looked down. That cliff was used as the Cliffs of Insanity for Princess Bride.
Oh, geez.
And in West
Yes, that's so good.
So good. I didn't realize that was. I figured that was all. I guess 80s, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever the equivalent of CGI back then, practical effects. But
Models.
yeah, but that was where it was filmed, and then they also did. I'm not a Harry Potter guy, but one of the movies, there's a cave in the Cliffs of Moher, where I guess the Horcruxes live inside this cave.
Okay.
And it's right there. But we did a freaking boat tour. I signed up for it before we left. And we got there, I think on Wednesday, and they're like, hey, the visibility is really low and the seas are really rough. So if you want to come back tomorrow or you want to come back later, we can do it then. So we signed up for the 5 o'clock, went back, and they're like, yeah, we're going to go out, but we can't guarantee what you're going to see out there.
Yeah.
You can wait till tomorrow. Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, at least it's.
Well, so the next day we go out for the morning one, it's totally what it was. So Bailey and I are up on the deck of this like tour
Yeah.
boat, and we're on the back, and the girls all went downstairs because it was a little bit wet and rainy. But we're on this boat, and it's totally like,
No.
we felt like it was the crab
Yeah.
guy boat.
Not cool, man.
Yeah, it was the show.
Deadliest Catch.
So it felt like it wasn't that bad, but for me it was. You could just feel the bow go up like this, and you knew what was coming.
I totally know how that feels because I talked about this before. My mom had a boat when I was a teenager, and we spent an evening trying to cross the Straits of Juan de Fuca in a 30-foot sailboat, and it was just, that motion after about, I don't know, an hour, I was just like,
Can we get off this ride?
Yeah, there's no point. It's just like that.
I don't like this ride. I actually ended up going to sleep and just trying to avoid the nausea that was being caused by that motion. And I was able to finally fall asleep, but then woke up and this is an entirely different story about what happened after I woke up.
Was that the poop release?
That was the Friday Harbor. Yeah, so the night before Friday Harbor was out in the Straits of Juan de Fuca, so I was already nauseous from the night before. So then when I was covered in shit, I immediately had to go feed the fish. So yeah.
Oh, man. The captain was like, we're going to go out to deeper waters because it's less rough out there.
Yeah.
But he's doing like 15 and a half, 16 knots is what the crew guy told me. And I mean, we were just cruising out there. But once he got, far enough north on the cliffs, and then he flips around so he could cruise back and do his presentation, and this is this, and then blah, blah, blah. This is where the birds are. It was actually pretty smooth from there. It wasn't too bad. So I'm like, why couldn't we get this on the way out, bro?
Hey, did you get a chance to go kiss the Blarney Stone?
So, a couple things on the Blarney Stone. Beautiful fucking grounds. If you go to that castle, it's gorgeous. It's a huge amount of land. They've got like an ancient fern forest, which was awesome. Fiddleheads that are just millions of years old kind of thing. I don't know how old they are. They're just, they have a poisonous garden, which I thought was awesome. It's like hemlock and eucalyptus and all this stuff that could kill you.
Sure.
So they're growing it.
So all the golf kids are out.
Yeah, exactly. Beautiful castle. You go inside the thing and it's medieval, right? So people were a lot smaller back then. So me as a 6-foot dude, and the doorways are like 4 foot, and I'm like ducking.
Oh, wow.
And the passageway, the stairwell is about like I can barely get it. And so we're cruising up this thing, and I'm like, you know, there's a whole bunch of people in front of me. There's going to be a whole bunch of motherfuckers behind me.
Yeah.
If I have a freak out session,
Yeah.
I'm going to be kicking fuckers down the stairs. So we got about halfway up, and there was like a exit down this way. So I was like, you know what, ladies?
Bye-bye.
I'm going. So I jumped out. I'm too claustrophobic. And, but the girl
And
went
it's
up.
stone.
Well, so the other thing is you get up there, and to kiss the Blarney Stone, you have to be on your back, bent over backwards.
Yep.
And you kiss it that way. They've got handles that you hold on to, and there's somebody that holds your feet, and you just kind of scooch back till you're over the hole, and then you dip your back into the hole and give it a smooch, right?
And what's the point?
Good luck.
Oh.
Yeah. Kissing the Blarney Stone gives you luck, yeah.
And then I started thinking, well, there's probably been, 3, 5, 10 million people that kiss this thing.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I don't like your
It's like
sloppy
kissing the
10 million.
handrail of a New York subway.
I mean, actually,
That's not lucky you just got.
I was talking about this yesterday. You mentioned your post about the Blarney Stone, that's why I brought it up.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, man, can you imagine someone linked to that? I was like, no!
Fucking Petri dish.
Why would you?
The gun wall.
Why would you want them to take the Blarney Stone? That's going to give you the exact opposite of what you're trying to get. With
So
the luck.
it's like up in a castle?
Yeah, so you go to the top of this thing, and it's probably forced.
You're also-
Oh, geez.
I'll bring it
Yeah, how come,
It's-
what's the history behind it,
There is a big history behind it, and I don't know.
Because that's not a typical place to find a big rock.
Yeah, up on the top of it.
Yeah, it takes, somebody had to go, the king's all like, you, and you.
All this fucker up there, hanging, everybody's got to come kiss it.
Here's a picture of somebody kissing the Blarney Stone. There. It's open. Come on. There we go.
Yeah. So it's flat? I
Yeah.
don't get it. All
So
right.
that right there is the wall to the outside that you're
Yeah.
bending over backwards over.
Hey! Yeah.
Yeah, so the girls went all the way up. but
Or
they-
hold the baby over there.
Michael Jackson.
You got me upside down, kid.
So this is what the Google machine says. Kissing the Blarney Stone is a tradition at Blarney Castle in Ireland that has been around for a century. The tradition is said to give the person the gift of elegance,
Oh.
or the ability to communicate with wit and skill and act flattery. To kiss the stone, you lean backwards while holding
Yeah, that is
onto
right.
2 railings. Yeah.
No, it
Well,
wasn't.
I already had that. If he has more of that, he'd rule the earth. So it was for the best.
Yeah.
They had to, nerf your power there, just like Shaggy.
Yeah, man. Yeah, but other than that, I mean, it was pretty awesome. The grounds were very beautiful. I got tons of pictures. I took a bunch with my Canon camera. I just need to, throw them through the Adobe real quick. Just do a quick check and I'll post them up somewhere.
That's cool.
You check it out.
Did you?
Yeah, you can put a link on our side, right?
Yeah,
I don't remember the name of the forest, but there is a forest in Ireland that is designated for the fairy folk.
That's
Oh,
nice.
It's protected land.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think, that's what they did. They cut down every single tree.
Yeah.
So.
The English forest.
They took every single one. And not in the English brand English.
Right.
That crowd.
Yeah. We did go horseback riding and met and talked to the dude. His name was Peter. I think it's Mountain View Horseback or something like that. Mountain View Ranch. Really cool guy. 6 generations on his family's property. He's the 5th. His kids are the 6th. He was telling us the story because as we were riding, I was asking him about that there was a clear cut area. I said, "Oh, did you guys just harvest all these trees?" And he goes, "Here's what we do: is this piece of land we planted trees on 20 years ago. They're fast growing, spruce, all that stuff. And then we come in 20 years, we know we're going to harvest them and get whatever the dollar amount is, and add it to the family." Pool. And then we immediately replant trees right there, use the old stumps as the rotting stumps as the fuel for these trees to grow. And then they find that they have another patch, so they do the same thing. So they just kind of rotate around these patches. And as we're coming up around this bend, there's this huge swath of acreage of spruce trees. And I said, "Hey, what about those?" He goes, his dad planted those. 57 years old, planted them in 2006, in September of 2006, as his kind of retirement, right? As like his pension. Right? Plants all these trees, says 20 years I'm going to harvest these suckers, going to give me the money enough for the rest of my days, and leave some over for the family, all that stuff. Dad dies a month later.
What?
Gets the trees in the ground. He doesn't do it himself. He has the company come in. He got to see the seedlings in the ground, but died a month later.
Oh, wow.
And so now here we are, 2024. So a couple of years into the harvest. So I asked him, and he's like, "Yeah, we're not touching those. Are Dad's trees. We're not touching them." So it was a nice story, but really connected with the land. 80 horses, 200 something acres, I think he said. But yeah, he took us all around. He showed us a lot of, and I hate to use the word ruins, but a lot of the houses and stuff over there, the rock places where the roof's gone, all the wood's gone.
All the thatched houses.
Exactly, but all the rock formations are still there. He showed us like these have been on our land forever, that stuff.
The old homestead from my grandmother's family is like that, where the original house is just a pile of rocks.
Yeah, she was in, her whole family's from Avoca area?
The village of Avoca is where she grew up.
Okay.
She lived
And
there.
was your mom born there?
No, Mom was born here in the States.
Okay.
My mom is the firstborn of the family.
So grandma moved over here, had your mom.
Had my mom, my aunt, and my uncle.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I know.
And,
did she ever go back?
Oh yeah, many times. In fact,
I mean, did she go back to live or she?
oh, my mom, no. My grandmother, she visited frequently, like every few years, went back to visit for a few weeks.
Yeah.
And my mom has gone there a number of times.
Yeah.
I think me and my brother Glenn are the only two that have not been to Ireland.
Oh, I thought you went at one point when you were young now.
My sister did, my niece and my sister spent 6 months in Ireland.
Oh, wow.
And when they came back, my niece had an accent.
Oh,
So
okay.
she was like
That's hard not to pick.
she was like maybe 1 or 2 years old when we went over, and she
Oh,
came
sure.
back 6 months later. She had an accent.
And that's the immersion, or
Yeah.
whatever, that's how they tell you to.
I was there for 10 days,
Yeah.
like, trying to catch myself from like, you just chat with somebody, right? You sort of break into a little bit of an accent, and then you feel like, oh, fuck, I'm an idiot, right?
Well,
Because you don't want to sound like,
You don't want to
sound
sound-
too hard.
yeah.
But
Okay.
Avoca, man, oldest running mill in weaving mill in Ireland. There's the scarf to prove it. We got to take a tour of the mill.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Alan and Jim
Really
took
fun.
us on this tour. I guess a lot of Americans go over there to the mill because of all that maker culture that we have here, where people are trying to learn the old ways of
Right,
doing
right.
things, like printing and all kinds of stuff. So they'll go over. One dude over there, I can't remember his name offhand, been there for 37 years at the mill. He's second generation. His son is now working there as well. Master weaver.
Yeah,
Showed us the old school.
the shells in and went on that, it was great.
Man,
Yeah,
and it's totally like playing an instrument.
yeah.
I mean, he's got to keep the rhythm to make that pattern. He's got to keep a certain rhythm with the foot pedals and the shuttlecock or whatever it is that goes across.
Fantastic.
It's great.
What a cool skill.
But the mill, sometime around the turn of the century had started to sort of fall under, right? It was not doing really well. And the guy that took it over, owned the property, was trying to figure out a way to either sell it or revive it. And he went to, there's 3 sisters, and they were all very well-educated sisters, the Wynn sisters. And he went to, I think, the oldest one and said, hey, what do you think about coming in and running this mill for me? And she said, I got 2 conditions. 1, my sisters come with me. We're all running the place together. And 2, that I get carte blanche. We make what we want to make, right? So they did, and they took over this thing and turned it around, and they were making, I think they made the baby blankets for Queen Elizabeth back in the day. They had a letter on the wall from his or her Royal Highness or whatever, you know, for the blankets. They made all, so they actually had like, when we first started the tour, they had like 6 or 8 patterns like this laid out, because last year was their 300th anniversary, right?
Wow.
So they made these different patterns to celebrate all of the different eras, right? And so like the very first one was kind of plain. They had an era that had a lot of gray in it, but that was the era that they were making a ton of blankets for prisons and for poorhouses in England, right? But they shared with us a story about, and I think her name, their family name was Brown, was an American gal, heiress, lots of money.
Brown. I'm related to the Browns.
Are you? She was over there visiting Ireland on holiday and got lost, and she was in the Avoca area, and one of the sisters' nephews, none of the sisters ever married or had kids, one of their nephews saw her and said, hey, do you need help? I'll get you back to your place. And while she was there, he started talking about this mill and his aunts. And she's like, I think I'd like to see that. So he takes her over there and shows the operation, and the lady fell in love with it. New York socialite, she says, and actually ended up spending the night in Avoca, and the next morning said, I'm not leaving until I have a verbal agreement with you guys to be able to be your representative in the United States.
Wow.
So she was able to start taking all the wares that they had there back to the States and sell them here. Nowadays, they're getting orders from China, like they're shipping stuff from Avoca to China.
Yeah.
Instead of the other way around, which is amazing.
By the way, this is the
State
trick I was
technology.
talking about. This is the one I was talking about.
Oh, that's your grandma's?
Yeah. I think that's the one that's out of town. Which is,
Oh, no, that's the Main Street one. That's the one I photographed.
oh, okay.
So, yeah.
That's the one.
Nice. Yeah, that's the one.
Cool.
When you send those in the pictures up inside and stuff.
Right on. Yeah.
Cool tile, mosaic floor and stuff.
Yeah. There was also, this church was also used in that show, Valley Casino as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they were raising money. All the churches and stuff, they're like, yeah, come on in, photograph, all that stuff. They all had the ones I went into had a machine where you could like donate, offer a tip kind of a thing, but it was all tapped. It was all €2 and they wanted it tapped. And I don't have a tap card or on my phone, the wife does, but I had a bunch of euros and half euros and stuff, so they were selling in hurricanes. So then they had a little cash box for that, so I threw a bunch of euros and coins.
Cool.
Yeah, no, it was really just fascinated with the history. Just love it. I love chatting, walking around, just chatting with people, just trying to have a conversation.
Yeah.
They are both Northern and the Republic of Honduras.
No,
Yeah.
Northern Ireland is English Patmos. Yeah.
Brexit!
Yes.
I mean, the northern part of Ireland is, at least in the eyes of the Republic, that's just England. So, they don't think of them as Irish.
Yeah. Northern Ireland was, I really wanted to go there just because of the history. I mean, I've seen so many movies and I've read so many books and stuff about the Troubles and all that. Fascinating. The neighborhood we slept in, where we rented our place, was totally a, lack of a better word, like a Protestant neighborhood. It was very UK. There was a big Union Jack painting on one of the walls.
Yeah.
We walked around and it was honoring the Ulster Brigade and all that, which was all the Protestant what's the right, militia type stuff. But then the next day we ended up taking a taxi over to the Peace Wall. And the Peace Wall is a huge wall with a fence on top of it that separated the Protestant neighborhood from the Catholic neighborhood. And the Peace Wall has become just a big graffiti wall, and people from all over the world come in with their Sharpie and just write a message of peace on the wall, which was awesome to see. So you're sort of there and you're looking up, and on the other side of the wall where the Catholic neighborhood is, you can see the chimneys and the rooftops, and you're just imagining, I mean, you're there, just this huge fucking wall separating neighbors, right? That are just, you know, and most of them weren't enemies, but, you know, they're just such a.
I have memories of my grandmother saying, you know, the lady down the street, she's a Protestant, but she's a nice lady.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the Catholics and the Protestants didn't like each other.
Yeah.
They thought, one thought the other was like, they're the wrong Christians, they're not going to heaven kind of thing.
Yeah, so the fascinating story from our tour guide, when we went way up to Giants Causeway, he was talking about is the potato famine really was the problem, which caused all the troubles in the first place. So the potato famine drove, not only killed off or drove half the people in Ireland either died or they got driven out to Australia or America, something like that. The other half out of the country needed to find jobs and needed money because there was nothing, you know, whatever. So they moved into places like Belfast, right? So you have all these Catholics moving into Belfast, which was predominantly a Protestant town.
Yeah.
So the Catholics come in and they're treated like second-class citizens.
Yep.
They're think of Jim Crow African Americans here in the States. Wages were paid less, they weren't offered good housing, you name it.
Yeah, I mean, in the early days when Irish came here, they were treated like second-class citizens.
Oh,
Yeah,
definitely.
it's the immigrants,
Yeah.
right? It's like, as long as somebody who's down can kick somebody who's down first.
Yeah, exactly.
And my grandmother used to tell me that it was hard getting a job when she first came to the States because you'd see help wanted signs except for the Irish.
Yeah, no Irish.
There's no Irish, no jobs need apply.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all these people living there, and a lot of them became neighbors, and you know, it was all good. But in the '60s, the Catholic in Belfast area was seen like Martin Luther King, peaceful protests and stuff. So they started having, you know, sit-ins and meetings and stuff like that. Well, the Protestant, not all of them, I'm not trying to paint all of them into a brush, but a lot of them saw that as, oh my God, the Catholics are going to uprise against us. So they sort of went on the offensive first, and there was those riots in Londonderry and then in Belfast in '69, I think, which kicked off the troubles. And then the British military came in to separate communities and all kinds of stuff. So
In the IRA was bombing places up until I think the 70s or early 80s.
all the way through to the 90s.
Oh, that's-
I was the 90s. I thought it was the 80s when it stopped.
98 or 97 was the Good Friday Accords.
Yeah.
But there was stuff still happening until 2010. So we actually, after we saw the Peace Wall, we went around the other side where the old Catholic neighborhood was, and there was a Irish Republic museum there, and it was run by a lady whose sister was arrested. It was named after her. She was arrested during the Troubles for just having a rifle. No big trial, no, you know, basically political prisoner, was just dropped into prison with a 9-year sentence for having this rifle. And she ended up serving at least half of it, I think her sister said. But the prison was filled, or the museum was filled with like artwork that was done, like matchstick art, sculptures, leather work, all this stuff. They smuggled in a bunch of little cameras from America to be able to take pictures of the folks in the prison. And these guys were in prison for years without trial, without proper trials and all that stuff. Just nuts, man. But it was a humbling and educational experience. So yeah, I was glad nobody goes to Northern Ireland. Everybody thought we were weird. We're going to Northern? Where are you going? That was one of my favorite parts of the trip.
And you got to see Londonderry, which was kind of.
I didn't go to London.
You did?
No, we didn't make it to London. I wanted to, if we were gonna drive, if we had one more day, we would have gone that way. Yeah.
Well, Londonderry's where they filmed Dairy Girls.
Yeah.
It's a great series that's on Netflix.
Yeah.
And it's about a group of girls and one guy who go to I think it's an all-girls school, but like the one boy is at school with them. But
Yeah. And it was cute seeing all the kids in their little school, you know, everybody's wearing school, parochial uniforms and stuff.
Did it seem like it was even the cities, do they seem crowded, not crowded?
A lot of the cities seem very touristy. Limerick was not a touristy town, but it was just a basic busy city. Belfast had a touristy area that we visited a bit called the Cathedral District. But the rest of the town just seemed like a busy metropolitan area. Galway, I think, was our favorite city. We had a really large sort of, I think we call it the Latin Quarter, something like that. Really cool bars, shops, all that kind of stuff. But it was kind of half touristy, half locals, I think. So Cork was more just a sort of town. Nothing, I mean, they had a river walk and stuff, but yeah, I don't know. I appreciated the smaller cities myself, small towns and stuff like that. Yeah.
yeah, I've always wanted to go, but it's never been a thing for me because it's not a cheap trip. You know, you go into Ireland. I mean, it would be cheap for me, I think, because I could probably stay with family. But it still would cost me to get over there and then have money for like traveling and food and whatnot.
From all vacation, it wasn't too bad. I mean, but I get it, man. Cost is cost. So, yeah. Yeah.
Thanks, Rob. Well, welcome home.
Well, thank you guys.
Thanks.
Heck yeah, man.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, yeah.
Yeah, Ireland was everybody was super nice. We had two things that bother me. Everybody smokes. It's European. Everybody's fucking smoking, and they're smoking in the doorways. Like we're walking to a coffee shop and there's a guy standing right in front of it just puffing away. And I'm like,
Scared, bro.
I just hold your breath and you go in, and I just watch him out there just chain smoking right in front of me. It's like, right in front of the fucking door, dude.
Yeah.
And a lot of payphones. They got a lot of payphones over there, which I thought was amazing.
I don't know. Maybe.
And then tipping is weird. Because some places you could tip, some places they're like in Belfast, man. The first night we were there, when you get the bill here, the check here, you add a tip. They don't have that. And we're like, no. And we didn't have any cash, so we're talking to the young lady, and she's we don't have any cash, and she goes, oh, I can run $20 for you to give you the cash for it. So she ended up doing that, and then we're like, oh, okay, well here. And she's like, oh, well, that's way too much. $10, we're giving her like $10. She's like, that's nuts. What are you giving? It's like, we don't know.
We have healthcare.
Because tipping is exclusively American thing.
We get paid a livable wage.
Yeah, we have a little, oh my God. Don't rub it in.
And they did like a month and a half worth of vacation every year too.
I don't know, man. Yeah. So we just kind of played it by ear the rest of the time. And we had one lady at the last hotel in Dublin. She was the only person we found that was rude. The 2 mornings, because we went ahead and signed up for the hotel breakfast. It was like $9 or something. So we went ahead and signed up to all you can eat buffet, and I'm like, sweet, I'll just fill up on this and go all day. And it was full Irish. Full Irish breakfast is awesome. If you ever get a chance. It's 2 poached eggs. It's toast. It's black and white pudding. It's sometimes potatoes. It's a little cup of beans, and then 2 sausages and 2 bacon. The bacon over there is like thin ham.
But all that for $9?
All that, well, the buffet was all you get, so I could have gone back for multiple.
Oh, yeah.
Until I found out what the black pudding was.
No, like blood pudding or
It's a
something?
blood pudding.
Yeah, that's hard before, and that's an actual what that is, right? That's not like a,
So the white pudding is like oats and barley mixed with ham or bacon, and it's like in a little, it looks like a little muffin.
Right.
It looks like a little.
Like the dishes we get over there. Those little round ones.
Do they have that over
Those
there?
little pies?
Oh, no, it's like a little muffin. It's like a little,
Oh, okay.
but it's basically about yay big.
like a cornbread muffin.
Like a cornbread, like a small
Okay.
one. And they taste good, and then they have spices and stuff. So I'm just grubbing, and they're like, oh, the white one's good, oh, the black one's good too. And they found out the reason it's black is because they add a splash of either pig or cow blood in there. And after that, I was like, okay, I'm glad I tried it without knowing. But I think I'm.
Was it noticeable? Now that you've tried both.
No.
Looking back,
The
you're like,
black
oh,
one
that's
is
obviously
more spicy.
Yeah, tasted like it punched in the mouth.
Oh, like an iron taste or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
And then like we're sucking on a penny.
What's funny is
Yeah,
mentioning
it's
all
bring
the
that back as a
things they're
fad.
getting in the breakfast, and I'm getting flashbacks of seeing my grandmother eat breakfast in the morning.
Oh, nice.
So she always had, like, it was always ham or, some eggs. And then there was always, English muffin. She had a thing about English muffin.
Yeah, that was big. Eggs Benedict too.
Because it's good.
It's good. Yeah.
Yeah, they're poaching eggs anyway, so.
Yeah. And I will say this, Irish food, God bless you, is not like, it's comfort food. It's not like 4-star Michelin kind of thing.
No.
It's good, but it's not great.
It's like
right?
bar food, but
Yeah,
better.
kind of bar food. The best meals we had were not, I kept trying to find traditional Irish stuff, but either it was done poorly or it just wasn't that flavorful.
Well, I'll tell you right now, Irish food is not flavorful.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not.
I'm trying to be delicate about it.
Yeah.
That's why there's salt and pepper.
Yeah.
It's not taking
And
over for.
brown sauce. They got some brown sauce.
Is that gravy or is that something else?
It's like barbecue sauce. It's
Right, and
brown. It's
yes.
it's like barbecue sauce that's very vinegary
Oh,
and sweet,
interesting.
but it's brown. And I don't think it's tomato based.
So is it like A1?
Kind of like A1 maybe, but the more vinegar.
Worcestershire.
But it's been a long time since I had A1. So.
It's pretty good.
Now I want to chew on some meat with A1 sauce.
Yeah, so the food wasn't like blow you away.
And you were trying to stay authentic.
Tried, like
Because you
we
can
got
have,
to
you know,
a little town called
Because
Athol.
there's chicken available, right?
Yeah, and then traditional chicken. I did have a traditional chicken that was pretty good. I don't remember what it was. The last night we were there, we went to this little tavern right around the corner from the hotel. And it got like 5 stars when we go over, and the wife orders this. It's chicken, stuffed chicken with bacon wrap, and then a little bit of like a gravy on it. And I thought it was good. She thought the chicken was too dry. And then I ordered this thing called bacon and cabbage, right? And I'm like, yeah, let's try it, whatever.
Gotta be
So
better
it
than
comes.
beef and cabbage.
And it's this little thing of like sauteed boiled cabbage, a little football-shaped thing of mash, right, which was totally flavorless. And then the bacon was these thin sliced ham,
He doesn't know.
and it had like a mustard sauce on top. And the lady comes out and she's like, yeah, my boss saw this and didn't think she gave you enough. And I'm like, no, it's fine, it's plenty of food.
It's like Canadian bacon is good bacon.
Kind of like these, but it's saltier and thinner sliced,
Huh.
right? And it has a little
Like a
fat,
prosciutto,
little fat on the
Canadian
end,
Huh.
like where the bacon
Yeah.
would be, right? Like a little bit of the belly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I get finished with the meal. I eat half of the wife's. We're all finished. We're all done. And then she comes walking out. And she's got this big platter.
Oh, man, of
Extra
nice rice.
bacon. And she's like, I'm sorry it took so long. And I'm like, I'm done. I hate to tell you this.
Yeah, I didn't want this
But I
extra
didn't-
2 pounds of salt.
I said maybe one of the other patrons or
Yeah,
something.
something.
Super nice lady, but just.
Can you put in the
Yeah,
Dakota? I'll just snack on it tonight.
The Irish are not known for their flavorful food. It's not a thing. I love my grandmother and my mom both dearly, but neither one of them were cooks. I legit was 15 before I realized that turkey could be like juicy and have flavor to it. Because growing up, it was always really fucking dry, and we always had this giant thing of salt in the middle of the table that everyone had to sprinkle on their food to give it flavor.
Well, that sounds like my mom's cooking.
Yeah, no, I've never loved one.
And people are like, oh man, you must love your, your culture's food. Like, no, not really.
It is filling and it's.
Oh yeah.
It
It doesn't taste good though.
Yeah.
You're not getting them for the flavor. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, we got to, so what your question was, I tried as much as possible to stay, on Irish dishes kind of thing, but man, we get to places and it's like, everything's Americanized, right? So we get to Athlone, like our third day, and we got there late, and all the restaurants close at 9:30 or 10, and we walked in just after 9, they're like, sorry, the kitchen's closed. And I'm like, fuck. So the only place that was open was either a cheap pizza place or a place called Eddie Rockets, which was like a 50s American diner. So we're
Like Johnny Rockets?
Like Johnny Rockets, but it's Eddie Rockets. So we go to Eddie Rockets and get like friggin' cheeseburgers and chicken burgers. And
So how American was it, or was it like?
no, it was totally American.
Okay.
Yeah. There was
The thing is, those places are open late because they know Americans are going to want to get like a comfort food that they're.
Well, then we eat past 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It's like,
Some of us don't have dinner till like after like 9:30.
and I'm telling you, I know, but that's, I think, a fairly modern thing.
Yeah. I think, maybe someday I'll get out there, but I don't know if that's going to be anytime soon.
You can fly there and back for $700.
Yeah, somewhere around that.
Yeah, that's a lot though.
Well,
Plus,
I mean, if you plan it right in both far and about, probably $700.
That's not that bad. I was thinking it was going to cost easily like $1,500 round trip.
I mean, if you, depending on the flight that you take.
okay.
But the kids
Well,
flew
this is nice.
Aer Lingus, which was nonstop right from here. So they got there in 9 hours. We had to fly to friggin' Amsterdam. And
That's
then
next
hang
door.
out there for a couple hours and then fly back. So we lost all those hours, including the hour to Amsterdam, and then we gained an hour back flying.
I'm doing my best to not make any Lingus jokes.
I know, that's, I don't care.
I mean, like,
Whatever you mean, Don.
I bet it's a very clean flight.
Yes, it was.
Nice. Yeah, I'd go, I really would go. So maybe, well, once, people start subscribing to our Patreon in vast
Yes.
amounts,
Do it.
that's gonna get us to Ireland, and we'll do a remote. Absolutely, we'll do multiple
Yeah,
remote.
yeah,
programs.
man.
So get us there,
A
people.
lot of places I would like to spend more time in. And now that I know, it's like, well, I can skip this.
I definitely would have to go and see if Andy's working at the college and go in and bother him for a minute or two.
So I did, what college was it, Trinity?
Trinity.
So we did spend some time there.
Yeah, I saw the pictures.
Beautiful campus.
Right.
I think it's a very exclusive, expensive school. There was a graduation ceremony that was going on, which was
Oh, that's
kind of cool. All
nice.
the kids in their caps and gowns and stuff like that. We did the Book of Kells experience, and I don't really remember what the Book of Kells is. Ancient book.
I think it talks about like all the old folks, all the old ones that lived out there.
Yeah.
The ones that were kicked out of Ireland on St. Patrick.
But they have a library there called the Long Room, and it's just friggin' amazing. Look at pictures of it. I'll send you some, but it's just this long, the Long Room. It just and off to the side are all these little wings where just mass amounts of books. Right now, they've taken most of the books because they're doing cleaning and restoration. They're cataloging them all. They're electronically tagging them, making sure that they're, because bugs, they don't last. So they're vacuum cleaning them. It's amazing stuff. But just a beautiful room.
Somebody's washing them.
The Dawn soap, right?
Yeah. It's like it's a duck and a
Like a
oil
baby duck.
That's Kelly Affleck, from a tomato.
Oh,
She's a local downtown artsy craftsy instructor, and
Nice.
she enables the artsy craftsies.
Oh, I know her. I know her.
Apple times. Yeah, she's a kid.
Yeah. Right, well, you guys want to jump into some headlines from regular show?
Well, yeah. Awesome.
I was just having to look up who Dickie Betts was because I didn't recognize the name.
Oh, yeah. Poor Dickie. He lived to 80. Dickie Betts guy.
I don't know. Dickie.
Guitarist for Leonard Skinner.
He was
Sure.
He was also.
Oh, I've got some Irish things.
He was also in the Allman Brothers.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry, Allman Brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Long-time guitarist.
You said 80 years old?
80 years old, so long.
That's nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Guys, I mean, hard to get away from him, but Trump's in the news quite regularly. His criminal trial has begun. I heard just before coming down here that they've got 12 jurors now.
The last I heard was 7.
Well, just before I drove down, they got 12. I know a couple that dropped out earlier today. One was a nurse that said all of her coworkers and family were calling her because they figured out who she was by the press stuff.
Yeah.
So the judge had to admonish the press and say, look, we're trying to have a fair trial.
Yes.
Calm down with your stuff. Use some common sense. And then the other guy thought he may have lied on the questionnaire for the jury selection in that a family member may have been prosecuted by that same office.
Oh.
So he's like, I just remembered, Uncle Mo or whatever.
Sure.
So
Well, there, because, you can get it thrown out later.
but you
right?
want to make it as fair as possible. So I'm really hoping Stormy gets her day in court.
Sure. And is Michael Cohen in prison right now?
No, he's been out for a long time, so he's expected to testify. As is possibly Karen McDougal, who is a former Playboy playmate that also had an affair with Trump.
Yes,
That
come
will
on, ladies.
testify. And Hope Hicks might testify because she was there in the campaign while those checks were being written. So she may, and she's
She
going to be
ended up
one.
was she chief of staff for a minute, or what was she, communications director or something?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. But she would be a hard one to impeach for Trump's attorneys to impeach her. I mean, with Stormy and Karen, they're porn stars. They don't matter. Michael Cohen's a liar, a proven liar. Trying to impeach her. This is criminal.
Yeah, 34 counts.
34 counts.
Yeah.
We don't know what might stick and what the because this is unusual because usually it doesn't rise to a level of a felony. This is oftentimes just misdemeanor when you falsify little documents here. But because he was using it to cover up another crime, which is the election fraud part of it, they're pushing for the felony. So I mean, this is going to be probably the last court case before the election. I don't feel
Because
like
Cannon, the dingbat who should have been.
Did you guys know that he got a new nickname? Sleepy Don?
Oh, so there's a gazillion of them, it's great.
that he's falling asleep.
Yeah, Don Snorleone.
Yeah, that was the one.
So good.
I did, there was a bunch of kids following like, he's not sleeping, he's doing it on purpose. Yeah, he's taking a nap because he's tired.
Yeah.
No, man, it's just bonkers. It's just bonkers. But I mean, this is kind of the best humans, not the best, but this is where we're at with justice.
Yeah.
Like societal justice. It's like, what does that look like? How do we make it better and better and better?
Yeah.
But that's what we got, people,
Yeah.
right? I can't think of too many other systems besides the jury of your peers, but it's also like, this is showing us how abusable that is, just like it was with the OJ deal.
Oh, yeah.
Et cetera. It's like,
Lawrence O'Donnell had a funny play on words. He said, Joe Biden is on the campaign trail while Donald Trump is on the campaign trial.
Wow.
Which I thought was funny.
I love that.
But speaking of the campaign, Trump, because of FEC reporting, he has been funneling campaign money into his cash-strapped businesses. His fundraising operation has been sharply increasing spending at his properties in recent months. So much so that 4 checks were cut in February and March to Mar-a-Lago totaling $411,000. And Trump Doyle Miami for another $62,000.
And that money's coming from where?
His campaign. So they have a
Yeah, we need to kind of rewrite the rules on what campaign
We're having a
money.
campaign event at
Yeah.
his fucking Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah.
And
So,
he's paid himself.
who's not seeing it, man? Who's
Right?
not seeing it? I don't get it, man.
I don't know.
It seems, why? How doesn't that seem? Yeah. And just-
I mean, I get it, that's his business, right? He's got a hotel, he's got a resort, he can have his events there.
Yeah.
But is he charging full rates? Is he charging overages? You know, same thing with the golf carts for Secret
Yeah,
Service and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
right? How do you
Whatever,
get yourself-
whatever it can be pinched,
Yeah.
right? It's
And speaking of pension, his campaign just announced that they're demanding a 5% cut from any GOP candidate, down ballot candidate, who uses his name, likeness, or anything else. If they use that in their campaign, they need to cut him a check for 5% of whatever they raised off. So if Joe Blow is running for Congress in Texas, uses
Yeah.
Trump,
Yeah.
and makes 100,000,
Yeah.
they expect a check for 5K.
Or, yeah, okay.
It's-
And that's because he's now, I don't know. But that's his personal likeness. I guess we have certain rules about that.
I don't know.
So,
I mean, you would think just getting
So,
the name out, right?
I guess
Would be
it's
the
so-
way, but I don't know, it's just, fuck.
we need to take the money out of American politics.
Oh,
That's the root of
Yes.
90+% of this. The other 10% is Americans just not paying the quality of attention to.
Yes, yeah,
Uh,
yeah, totally,
But come on, take the money out.
totally agree.
Bizarre.
Totally.
And it's so much money, like $1 billion
Yes.
for president.
That's just
It's so
ridiculous.
dumb. And that's why, these huge corporate media, they love it, man.
Yeah,
Right? Because it's just money.
yeah,
It's so dumb.
yeah. I don't know, man. And also, I don't know if you guys heard this, was an interesting story. The Democrats have chosen to do a very late convention, not very late, but a late convention in August, right? Which is throwing a few states into a tizzy about getting them on the ballot. Because a lot of states require to be on the ballot, you have to have been formally nominated by the party by a certain date so that they can print it out and stuff. Ohio's saying that's not gonna happen with Biden. They need to come up with something, and the Biden campaign's gone back to Ohio and said, look, work with us on this, please. And they're like, no, because it's a Republican Secretary of State or whatever. They're like, yeah, no.
And
that's
how did
Democrat."
the Biden team drop that ball?
I don't know, it's stupid, right? Yeah, it's happened in the past. It's even happened here in Washington State.
And why does a party have a say over that?
Right.
Really? Why
The
would
state
a
parties, but it's the.
So it's, he happens to be a Republican, but he's the Secretary of State.
So it's like, we're not gonna make any concessions for you.
No, that's good.
So there may be some kind of provisional, I forget what the word is, if I wrote it down. There's a provisional certification.
Oh my God.
But they're like, yeah, we're not gonna bend over to help you at all get on the ballot. Of course they will, because they.
I guess, well, I mean, if that's within their power to do so,
Yeah.
then they need to change the fact that it's in their power to do so.
So crazy. So this, Biden might not make it on the Ohio.
That would be odd, well, he lose,
Well,
right? Because Ohio's a big enough swing state to where.
Well, it's been red for a while. It's been purple for a longer time, but I think it's gone red the last few. Not
Yeah, yeah.
Pennsylvania's been,
Oh, sure.
but that's the bigger one. I mean, if Biden wins Ohio in this one, I don't think Trump has a chance.
No, that's
So,
not.
but I don't think I don't think Biden's gonna do it.
Well, especially if we don't put him on the ballot.
Not with that attitude.
Yeah, and I mean, it's like, where's the, marketplace going to be?
Yeah. Yeah.
We should, really branch out with our potential candidates.
Man, speaking of branching out, Ron Schneider, he has endorsed Robert F. Kennedy Jr. for president, but it just came out news over the holiday season, he performed at a Republican networking group. I think what it was all the campaign managers for the Senate, or all this chief of staff for all the Republican senators were at this event that he was hired to perform at. Well, most of the people walked out because of his jokes, said he was too raunchy and gross. And said they cut him off after about 10 minutes, right?
Yeah.
He was making jokes about Asian people, including talking about Korean whorehouses. I don't know what the joke was. He says that it's the same material he used in his Netflix special recently.
I watched it, yeah, he was not funny in that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think he's particularly
I don't really think of him as a stand-up guy.
but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Honestly, the only time he's ever been funny is when he's been doing other people's material for, like, you know, Adam Sandler's movies, or when he's doing the comedy bits on SNL where he didn't write it.
Right.
He was just playing a character.
Because he can be.
He's got a good facial.
Yeah, he's got the.
He's got good timing.
Well, they hired him so they could fire him.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So he says he did his full 50-minute set. He was paid for 50 minutes, and he did the full 50 minutes, and he says he made $50,000, and they paid him.
Gee, but that's a form, eh?
I'm like, dude, next time you need somebody, we'll do for half that cash.
We'll do that for half. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
50 minutes?
Yeah.
We can do 50 minutes.
I don't know.
Easily.
We'll just chase each other around the stage.
Have you to the Benny Hill thing?
Jackie Sack. Did either of you guys see the bit that South Park did about Rob Schneider?
I don't hear how long ago.
I don't know. 50 grand. Who's hiring that guy to do 50 grand for an hour?
Schneider.
Schneider. You know, I don't know, the RFK Jr. thing is bizarre to me. It's like, come on, don't be that. Don't be that.
Well, speaking of washed up comedians, Madison Cawthorn, remember this guy? He was the wheelchair bound.
Oh yeah, that guy. Yeah, I saw something about him getting into their car accident. This time it's his fault.
Yeah, he rear-ended a state trooper in Florida in his fancy 2021 Mercedes. A witness says that he was behind her tailgating and like moving all around, like he wanted her to get out of the way. And she's like, just go around me, dude, go around me. And so finally she pulled over and let him through. Well, a couple minutes later, she's down the highway and he's crashed into the back of this trooper car.
Yeah, he basically totaled his car. There's a whole front end of the car.
Oh, did you see it?
Completely mangled. Yeah.
Oh man. So it's
and he's on this side of the road. You know, it's like, what happened? You know,
and the trooper was injured. Actually, took him to the hospital.
Oh, geez, there we go.
Yeah, had a little neck injury. Man, but yeah, as Todd alluded to, he has had a bunch of driving infractions over the last few years, including driving with a revoked license.
I mean, one of the accidents he was in caused him to be paraplegic.
Yeah.
Jeez, bummer.
Yeah. He's another one of the George Santos guys.
Yeah, but he lost his return bid.
Yeah. Because he was like, all the shitty videos of him like trying to hump a pillow or hump his buddy, and you know, all the gross shit he was doing, unbecoming a congressman.
That's right. Even his own guys kind of.
How old is this guy?
20 something.
Okay, so he's right up the right age to be a douchey like frat boy.
He is a douchey frat boy.
Okay.
But he successfully completed a 2-year term in Congress. But he was a total George Santos. Like he tried to claim that he was on his way to the Naval Academy when he was paralyzed, which he was never accepted to the Naval Academy. He tried to claim a bunch of stuff that didn't happen. Just one of those guys that needs to, pad his stats to try.
I'm going to let it crypt out.
This is not an S, it means peace.
Well, speaking of douchebags, Aaron Rodgers, we talked about him being a potential running mate for RFK Jr.
Hey, he's more of a billionaire instead.
Was
His
that-
RFK Jr. is a man of the people.
Yeah.
So he became a billionaire.
But he recently came out and accused Fauci of starting AIDS, an AIDS was a man-made government operation.
Oh my God.
I remember hearing
Yeah.
my brothers saying that AIDS was a manufacturer thing.
Yeah, manufactured, and the end game was so that they could create a cure for it and make all the money off of the cure.
Where's that gear then?
Yeah, exactly. Well, they have the AZT, but it's not the cure.
Fun.
That crap, they don't keep seeing advertisements
Yeah.
for on.
Yeah, I don't know. There's been yeah.
Yeah, it's
I saw PrEP a couple times.
Yeah, that it can bring your
It-
count down.
It
right?
actually makes it so you're not contagious.
With HIV or with both?
With HIV.
Okay.
Yeah, AIDS, because there's been cases of AIDS without HIV present. And there's been plenty of cases of HIV without AIDS. right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they actually have like AIDS cases from like back in the late 60s, right? It just didn't become, and in fact.
They have HIV cases from that?
I
or-
think AIDS cases.
Yeah,
from
sure,
back-
sure. No, there's all sorts of immune deficiency syndromes,
Yeah.
right? We see it all the
Yeah,
time.
well, they think
Yeah.
they found evidence of it in like prehistoric times too, right? So, I don't know.
Yeah, but HIV itself has a virus, right?
Right.
And there could have been some precursor to it, but the thing with a virus, just like we did with COVID, is you can identify that from everything, right?
Yeah.
So you know that when it's present and it leaves, hidden things behind. It's been interesting the whole time, because I've been kind of into it, my brother was HIV positive for 25 years.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, stubborn about it. But, so I was always very intrigued by it, read all the Peter Duesberg stuff back in the day.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I don't know, it's fascinating, because viruses are trippy, dude. They are.
Yeah,
And you can't really trust governments. But that doesn't mean every single fucking thing a government does is some evil conspiracy. Because that simply isn't the case, right?
I remember back in the 80s, both of my older brothers talking about how it was manufactured to basically thin the herd. And it was designed to thin a specific demographic.
Yeah, but then why is it sexually transmitted? Right? It's like there's a bunch of other ways you
Well,
can make disease that are
the
more
demographic
specific.
was the gay community.
Sure, but I mean, even the basic mathematics, because a lot of the people who go to gay clubs and have gay sex are married men, especially, right? Because they shouldn't be out, right? So it's like, no, they knew there was going to be, if there was going to be somebody plotting that, they would have obviously seen the low. And I remember hearing that with the WHO, they are injecting people with it, blah, 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 blah. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I've heard people say that's what killed Eazy-E as well, that he was injected with it.
Oh, injected?
Yeah.
I didn't know that, I know he died of it.
That he got attacked and somebody injected him with a needle.
Yeah, man.
James Bauer, that's awful. But I mean, you also get it from having sex.
Right.
Right, that's not unheard of.
Right.
Right, it's like,
Yeah.
people,
He was probably
STDs
fucking
are
around.
a thing, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, he was probably fucking around too back in the 80s.
Oh, that guy was on top of the world for a minute there, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They were a very popular musical group.
Early 90s, yeah, he was like one of the founding members of NWA, so yeah.
Well, speaking of On Top of the World, one of our favorite shows, Reacher, Alan Ritchson, is getting a lot of flack from the right.
Good.
Magnus.
I'm glad he's not on their side.
Yeah, well, he's a proclaimed Christian guy, which is fine. I mean, everybody has their beliefs, but he came out and called Trump a racist and a con man, and yet the entire church, Christian church, seems to treat him like he's their poster child, and it's unreal. I don't understand it.
Yeah,
So he's come out taking a stand on it. The other thing, a while ago, he posted a picture of himself in the Breonna Taylor t-shirt and talked about how the police need to be held accountable. They shouldn't be able to go out and commit
Dude,
murder,
they're not
shootings,
warrants.
murders, and all that
I mean,
stuff.
pretty
That was
obvious.
one of the worst ones.
Oh, it's
Oh, is that the one where they went to the wrong house and shot the person in their bed?
She was in her bed. They went to a house that they thought the
It
drug
kind
dealer
of- yeah,
lived in,
yeah.
but she might have been
Terrible. It was-
ex-boyfriend.
Yes.
of hers,
Yes.
But no knock warrant,
No.
and the guy, her
Wasn't-
boyfriend in there is
yeah.
defending himself. Somebody's crashing through the door,
Yeah.
and he opened fire, so they opened fire.
And a different guy. That's not the guy they were
It's not
looking
even
for.
the guy
Yeah,
they're
no,
looking
it was
for.
awful. Their intel was bad,
Yeah.
their performance was bad, and I thought nobody really was accountable.
Nobody was.
So that was kind of also the salt in the wound, right? It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was awful.
Yeah.
That was awful. Well, I mean, that's not, it's evil, then, is that what
Well,
that is?
that's good.
It's like,
It's gonna be
shouldn't we
the next
all
thing.
be
Oh,
striving for
we got a
justice?
boycott Reacher now.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
are you kidding me?
I actually heard him in an interview on the Inside of You podcast with Michael Rosenbaum about 6 months ago, and it was a great interview. And he mentioned to Christian, like, oh, please do not start going on the whole conservative man thing. And he did it. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, maybe he's not. And he didn't really ever touch on any of that, so I didn't know. It's like, but I knew he was very religious. And okay, well, he's a great actor. You know, he plays the parts he plays very well. So this, yeah, I'm glad to hear that he's not one of the mega.
Yeah, and I don't know what his I mean, he still may be a conservative dude, but he's definitely not a Trump guy.
Yeah, because those two things aren't the same.
They're not, they're definitely
Right.
I mean, I know some Republicans, and I respect their view. They want smaller government, they want certain things.
I want to be.
And that's fine. I mean, I get it. I don't agree with it.
Yeah, but those are all things we can talk about.
The things we can't talk about is overthrowing the government and
Yeah.
having a dictator.
And yes, and for obvious, only for the dictators who are obviously, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's and puzzling.
Yeah. In other entertainment news, I've been looking forward to this because Quentin Tarantino says he's going to retire, right? He's going to
Next
make
movie,
one
yeah.
more film. And it was called The Movie Critic, I think. He's scrapping it. He had tapped Brad Pitt to come in and be in the movie. I think they did a lot of pre-production stuff, right? He got a tax credit from the state of California to start filming, a bunch of other stuff, and he's now just like, I'm out. I'm not going to do that movie anymore. So I don't know if he's serious that this is going to be his last one. Maybe he didn't think it was going to be big enough, you know.
He probably got way too many notes from the studio.
Oh, maybe so. But who's giving him notes?
I don't know. And maybe it's just kind of a shit show. Weird things.
Yeah.
It's a big production every single
I mean,
time.
aren't his movies usually through Warner Brothers?
I don't know. Were they Miramax for a while?
I mean, Miramax, God, I don't know if it was Miramax. I don't know, is Miramax still a thing now that the guy who ran it is in prison? But there's been a lot of shit happening with Warner Brothers since they merged with Discovery. You know, they scrapped a bunch of movies that were supposed to come out. They're canceling a bunch of shows that were in production and whatnot. They're trying to save on money. Apparently, they spent too much buying Warner Brothers.
Be Django 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Man. So I don't know. I always look forward to his movies.
Sure.
I don't know. Because he was talking about doing an 8-episode TV show for a while, and then he was going to do a Star Wars or a
Star Trek movie, yeah.
movie for a hot minute.
That's a kind of
He talked about that and said, man, it's just like this wildly big production that he'd have to do.
And there was a lot of blowback from the Trekkies, man. No, you cannot do a Trek movie. And I was over there going, please, let's
check it out.
I want to see lots of phaser burns, man.
Yeah.
I want to see space people using the N-word.
Let's see Captain Kirk bite the ear off.
I'm joking, Mike, I'm joking.
I think it's just a different style of production, right? He doesn't do those big
No.
Vista things typically, right? Because even Django, which was sort of a Western kind of, didn't have that kind of vast landscapey stuff, right? And that's kind of what space movies are. It's either a claustrophobic in a ship or an alien.
Yeah.
I mean,
Big, you know.
After the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, that was actually pretty good. I enjoyed it. I don't know, a lot of people didn't like it for whatever reason.
No, I liked it.
Yeah.
I did
The only one I didn't like, or didn't, was the cowboy, what were they all, Hateful Eight or whatever? Were they all-
Yeah.
I just thought it was like, it was the least Tarantino movie, and I just really, or just.
How was it the least Tarantino movie? There was lots of blood and lots
Yeah,
of
but the dialogue was just not that good, it wasn't that, it just
I
didn't.
think there was a lot of it.
Because his dialogue, for me, is really kind of his strong point anyway, right? He's a really good writer.
I just remember it being very bloody, very violent, just a lot of cursing. And that's pretty on point with his movies.
I thought just the storyline and sort of the backstabbing and the who's who mystery kind of thrown in felt very Tarantino-ish. But anyway, what's your favorite Tarantino?
Honestly, I mean, I think here. I mean, it's got to be where's my brain decided? You know, the one with does he look like a bitch?
Oh, Pulp Fiction.
That's the one.
Yeah.
He's one and a half. My brain is decided. I can see it in my mind's eye, but the words aren't coming to me.
That Mother Django, or, what's the one with Christoph Waltz at the Nazi?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's just the first like 15 minutes of Inglourious Basterds is some of the best
and
possible cinema.
And Eli Roth is the bear. Is that the guy's name? Yeah. This big Jew who had a giant baseball bat.
Yeah.
He was beating on Nazis.
They carved that fucking swastika.
Oh, that's hardcore, man. But the first 15 minutes are astounding.
Yeah.
Oh,
I would say Reservoir Dogs, but he didn't direct it, he just wrote it, which I really
I didn't know that.
But I would probably go with Todd said, probably Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction
It's a
is
good
like
movie.
the one that I immediately think of when I hear Tarantino.
yeah,
And it's so much
great
great
cast.
stuff
Oh,
in
yeah.
that.
I mean, it's that and it's from Dusk Till Dawn, but he didn't direct that. He was just in it.
Yeah, did
Sure,
you
but that's got
write
some-
that,
yeah.
or he just produced it?
I don't know if he was a producer or not. He played the brother of
George
Clooney. Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. So whatever you're gonna do, Quentin,
We got it.
Hot Waters of the Apocalypse.
Yeah, maybe that's what he's waiting for. He's
Yeah.
waiting for it to get,
Oh, yeah.
out of my studio.
I watched a few episodes of the Venture Brothers the other day.
Oh, nice.
Great show.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So fun.
yeah.
I mean, and I can see that was probably a little bit of an inspiration, right, for the Hot Rodders? Just the characters from that?
A little bit, yeah. But the brothers being the older brother being more of like a Brock Sampson, and the younger brother being kind of a combination of the two. But we for sure influences all over the place, right?
Sure.
Yeah, I've got 3 episodes written. So
Oh, man.
I don't know what you guys are doing this weekend, but
I had no plans.
Tomorrow, Saturday.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah, for Great Aunt Dad.
Oh, okay.
So that's the last of Earl Climer's sisters.
Oh, man. Jeez. Earl passed away a long time ago, right?
What a guy.
Yeah, he was the mayor.
Yep. And just a genuine, good human
Good
being.
man.
Is the original Mayor Moskowitz?
Well, Mayor Clymer, that guy. The Moskowitz.
Ain't no public office there, right?
Oh, man.
Jeez. Here's a funny story. And I used to watch this show back when, I had basic cable. It was like on TNT or USA Network all the time. But Law and Order SVU, right?
Oh, Mariska Hargitay.
Yeah, so she is with Ice-T, and they're filming the last scenes of season 25.
Wow.
Right, season 25. They're filming, and she's in the park, and she's got her costume on, which is like the detective outfit with the badge. And this little girl comes up to her because she sees the badge and says she's lost in this park. I forget which park it is. It's Fort Tryon Park in Manhattan. Walks up to her and says, "I'm lost, I need help." And so she helps this little girl find her family. Meanwhile, the whole film crew and even Ice-T are over there not really just oblivious to everything. And she actually ends up playing like a real cop for half a minute to help it.
That's awesome.
Gets the girl back to her parents.
Jeez, that's
Which
great.
is fun.
And then charges on the neglect.
On the ground!
Yeah. Scumbag. Wow, that's great.
Were you guys into
25
were you guys
seasons?
into the Law and Order series?
Dun. Is that a dun-dun?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And they've had like, what, 7 iterations of
Wow.
it?
There's a bunch of different spin-offs. I think I've watched maybe an episode or 2, and I've never really gotten into it. I like other cop procedurals. Like my current one that I really like is The Rookie with Nathan Fillion. But then the other ones have all those have been Nathan Fillion as well. Castle, which was
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
Castle, and then Bums was another one that had David Boreanaz in it. So that's basically the only cop.
Was he
knows how to
the
write that.
FBI guy?
Yeah, Orleans was an FBI special agent Booth. He was a direct descendant of John Wilkes.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Man.
At least in the story.
I think I used to watch SVU a bit, just because it was readily available, flipping channels. Never got into any of the other ones.
Which one had Richard Belson?
That was SVU.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and he,
I would like that,
he was
yeah.
on Life on the Streets, Baltimore. or
He
something.
played the same character in like 10 different shows.
Yeah.
You know, I just saw a meme the other, or not even a meme, but a thing of the biggest universe from any one show is St. Elsewhere.
Oh.
Because that kid, there's like some tie-in to the SVU
What?
universe.
No.
To St. Elsewhere, yeah, because the
Really?
kid's reading it in the back, in the head or whatever. His daydream, yeah. It ran down the whole list of all these other shows that were
No.
directly related. It was
But
fantastic.
Belster played the same cop in like 10 different shows.
Something like
And-
that,
and
something
he-
amazing, yeah.
it was, I don't know.
Monk?
I don't know the character
Yeah,
name. but
Munch,
it's one of them.
Much.
Yeah.
He started, I think it was Homicide, Life on the Streets, and it took place in Baltimore. He was on that for a season or two, and then they sent him up to the SVU, the whole Law and Order universe. And I think he guest appeared on all of the different iterations, right? It's just
Yeah.
Has that same character?
Is that same character?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that guy back in the 70s. He was funny as
Yeah.
hell. And he's a UFO enthusiast as well.
Well, we talked about
Yeah.
it when he passed away.
Right. Last year.
Yeah.
Speaking of Monk, I heard that that's going to be coming back as a TV movie.
Oh, Tom Shelby, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't remember, but yes. Yeah. I like him.
Which I enjoyed.
And he was on Wings, right?
Yeah.
Nobody
He was a mechanic on Wings.
Yeah, he was the locket.
He was the locket.
Yes, he was. Oh, Wings. Wings with the SVU of its time, though, just kept going.
Nobody knew why.
Yeah, and nobody even admits to watching it.
It's, the thing is, both Wings and Monk were both on USA Network.
Oh, were they really?
Yeah.
Which was basic cable, right?
Yeah. But it's like, yeah. I saw that recently. I don't know when it's happening, or if it's going to be on TV, or if it's going to be on a streaming platform, or what. But it's, yeah.
Man, I don't know. Speaking of nothing in particular, you guys enjoy the Red Lobster?
Restaurant?
I don't think
I don't think I've ever been.
I think I've been to Red Lobster maybe twice in my lifetime. I don't remember if it was good or bad or whatever.
They are having a potential bankruptcy crisis right now because of the endless shrimp that they've been doing. I think that's what it is.
That's
They
funny.
show a $12.5 million loss for quarter 4 2023, which is just.
That sounds like bad management.
Man, I don't know, dude.
Do you think maybe Gabriel and his buddies all went in there and just ate everything up?
Fluffy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, he posted a video yesterday and he bought a 1995 Shelby Cobra.
No.
Like it had 25 miles on it.
Damn.
And it's been driven once and that's it. And he posted a video today, yes, I put 500 miles on it. And no, I'm not going to put it in the garage. I'm going to drive it.
Yeah, you don't get on them, man.
Yeah, Jesus. I'm not really a shrimp guy. I've noticed recently, locally, a bunch of like crawfish restaurants popping up.
Oh, right, yeah, right down
Yeah, there's one
there.
down here, there's one right at the beginning, Rainier Beach.
Is there a difference between shrimp and crawfish?
One is
Saltwater, one's restaurant.
crawfish,
Oh.
freshwater.
I guess crawfish can be, other than they're on top of shrimp.
Yeah.
Shrimp,
Mud bugs.
Yeah. Yeah, people eat them now all the time.
Yeah.
We used to catch them when I was a kid.
Never ate them.
I used to catch shrimp in Hardy Harbor to catch them to be used as bait for fish.
Yeah.
Because they were easy to, well, they weren't easy to catch, but they were right on the dock of the floating docks in Hardy Harbor. And if you if you were fast enough to catch them.
Last time I had them.
Speaking of Shelby Cobra.
Would have been years and years ago down in New Orleans. Met a girlfriend's family for the first time down there, and they put out a big plate of crawfish and cervicalot and all that stuff. And not my go-to, but it was fine.
Yeah.
I mean, if there was a party or something, I would.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not good.
And speaking of doors,
It is written.
we're doing our top 5 vacation spots,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
In our top 5 this week, and that might end up on mine, so check that out in the bonus.
I don't know if I have 5, but I'll think of something.
Yeah.
I haven't written anything down yet.
Okay.
I'm gonna pull it out of my ass.
Yeah, just start making up.
Digs on Broadway.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, check that out in our members only section of the website or on Patreon, which is give us money so Todd can go to Ireland.
Yes.
Ah, that'd be fucking sweet. Yes, please. Oh, wow.
Do you boys want to give out some advice?
Whoa, what do we got?
We got a young lad, I think is confused, but I'm gonna let you guys jump in. Geeks, I've got an issue with body count. A 28-year-old male dating a 26-year-old female. Things are getting serious between us, and the marriage word came up. As far as body count, I think I'm just below average, or maybe average in number. But I'm currently dating girl whose number is off the charts. I stumbled on a list she keeps, and oh boy, it's a big count.
No, she doesn't keep a list.
I had a girlfriend that kept
Like a physical
a
list.
physical list.
I have a question. Is her nickname Bigger Cuss?
Oh man, I haven't revealed mine to her.
Don't.
Sex is good, but I'm really hung up on the experience she's had, and if I've had enough experience in my own life. Like, if I get married, maybe I'm missing out. I love her, and she's the best thing that's happened to me, and I can see myself being married, but have serious reservations, FOMO. What would you do?
Well, Holden McNeil, what you should do is not like really stress over it, because it's, what you should do is go watch Chasing Games and figure it out.
Yeah, because it doesn't end well for the hero in that story.
I wouldn't even call him a hero.
The character in that story. Yeah, I actually did a little looking up after I read this, and got some web help with this. It's just, these are just another way to shame the sexually active and inactive alike.
I wouldn't stress it.
There's really no quote-unquote normal body count. Body counts do not matter, and for the most part, they're pretty sexist. Well, it's clear from the data above that men tend to have higher counts than women. It's women who are routinely shamed for this arbitrary number. There was a survey in 2019 of about 2,000 Americans and Europeans finding that women on average had 7 partners in their lifetime and men had 6.4. Both genders agreed that 7.5 was the optimal number. I don't know why there's an optimal number.
The 0.5
person. It's the 0.5.
The 0.5 is the little person.
A study published by the Journal of the American Medical Association in 2020 found that sexual inactivity increased among American men and women. Inactivity increased between ages of 25 and 34 from 2020 to 2018. That tracks with recent findings suggesting that Gen Z is also more hesitant about hookups than preceding generation. I have to say, when I was young, probably not as old as this guy, but in my early 20s, I was very worried about that. My first real girlfriend was 4 years older than me, tons of experience, all that stuff. And I was like, fuck, man. I've only been with a couple, 3 people, and she's had this vast experience, right? And it was a little intimidating at that age, but dude, you are 28.
I honestly, in my 20s, I was trying to get laid, but I was not very good at it. And when I did get it, I didn't stress about how many they've been with. I was glad that they were doing it with me.
Happy that you
Yeah.
were.
And I'm glad.
Yeah.
I was happy to be the next notch on her belt. You know, honestly, I didn't care.
It's just, I think it's one of those things, it's a question you don't really want to answer.
You don't.
But now that he knows, I think it's incumbent upon him not to be hung up on.
Yeah,
You gotta let that shit go.
It's his own insecurity.
If you're really gonna marry this human being and make that type of commitment, there's all sorts of shit you're gonna have to fucking move past.
What I would say is at this this point, don't get married. If you're that hung up on this.
Yeah.
That you
No,
don't have
there's
enough
mass other
life
shit
experience.
coming, dude, I'm telling you.
Spend some time sowing those wild oats if you need.
Oh, sure, well, and that too.
Yeah, just go
I
sow
mean,
those wild oats.
Honestly,
Don't worry about it.
the best advice I can give is if you're really concerned about body count, then watching that movie, Chasing Amy, will kind of give you some insight of what could happen if you obsess over it to the point of like, I need to do this, I need to be able to like get to her level. You don't need to get to her level. That's not a thing you need to do. So,
Or they do it together, you know what I mean? They like, find out, yeah, I mean, you explore your sexuality together, because that's the woman you're saying you're gonna marry, you know what I mean? It's like,
I'm sorry about your penis,
Ooh,
dude.
that's penises running around.
I don't know, that's what I was saying.
So, I mean, it really isn't that big a deal, and if you think it is, then you need to seek therapy, honestly. Chances are, if you make it a big deal with her, it's gonna blow back in your face, and it's not gonna be good.
Yeah, and it's either that or you're gonna have to spend your life trying to find somebody on an equal footing as you, right?
Yeah.
Either they're gonna have less partners than you or right at the exact same amount. Where do you draw that line, right?
And then what about every other criteria that goes into a relationship,
Right.
right? Is that the things
Is
that
the
you're really
one
gonna focus
thing
on?
that you're focused
Yeah.
on and not
Yeah.
that this person can make you happy, that you are compatible, you like the same food, you like the same meat, whatever.
Can
It's like-
be in the same room for a long time.
Right.
They're gonna back you up if you get hit by a
Yeah.
bus,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like, there's a lot of
Yeah.
things to consider, man.
The other thing I would suggest is there's a book called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. It's all about perspective, and that's something that I think you need to learn about, perspective. And concerning yourself about somebody else's body count or what they're doing, and comparing yourself to that is only going to end badly for you. You know, it's not something you need to really stress about. It's something you need to let go of.
Yeah, for sure. So take a long look at what matters in your life, and if this is really what you're going to stress over, then I'd say don't go forward with it.
Don't get
Kind of
married.
Committed marriage kind of thing. And go sow, if you really need to, go sow your wild oats, man. If you don't feel like you've had enough
Yeah.
experience in your life. I mean, he says his body count is average or whatever. It's a stupid, like I said, arbitrary number.
Yeah.
But
I can tell you my body count is not very high. It's not. So, and I was a late bloomer. I didn't get laid for the first time until I was actually older than this guy. I was probably in my 30s before I got laid for the first time.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it shouldn't matter if you guys. I think he even said that sex was good. So I mean, that's all.
Yeah,
that matters.
yeah,
The connection between the two.
Yeah.
Although my mom used to tell me all the time when she knew I was out being promiscuous, she would tell me often that every person you sleep with, you slept with every person that they
Sure.
slept
Thanks
with.
for the reminder. Well, it's very, that's the mathematics.
That was
So I feel like my body count is in the.
Well, and my mother gave me a similar type of advice.
Yeah.
She said, skanky bitches need love too. No, not even a giggle? Come on! My mom did not say that.
That's why we didn't giggle.
Yeah.
We weren't sure if the exit did. We're like, I don't want to. I don't want to laugh at your mom.
Oh my God, we hope you find peace and
Yes.
and you owe it to her to be good to her and honest. And,
Yeah.
and if you need to move on, then move on. And we're going to move on. Boys, sharing is caring.
Yeah.
Anything, Todd, you mentioned your, it's not whose line, it's
Who's turning it anyhow?
Anyhow.
Yeah, it's on Meta Horizon World. It's a virtual version of Whose Line Is It Anyway? And they do like their open mic shows on Tuesdays, and then they have their actual shows on Saturdays at 6:30 Pacific time. If you don't have an Oculus to watch, you can find it on Facebook. We post videos, we stream videos to the Facebook group. And you search for Whose Turn Is It Anyhow. The username is Whose Turn Is It Anyhow, with the first letter being capitalized in each word. But yeah.
Which days and times are you?
I mean, I go there both days. It's Tuesdays for the open mic, which is if you're in the audience, you're gonna get pulled up on stage, whether you want to or not. They just like randomly grab people. We'll put you up on stage, and then we what? So
But you have to have an Oculus to participate.
yeah, you have to have an Oculus to be in the world to participate as an audience member or to be on stage. If you don't want to be on stage, go to the Saturday shows only, and then you'll be fine. You won't get pulled off stage. Except for at the very end, they'll ask people if they want to come up and do the last. No, they don't do it on Saturday. Never mind. It's on Tuesday. That the last bit they do is called "Sing from a Hat," where they will give a prompt out. Things you can say to your mom that you can't say to your girlfriend, or something along those lines, or just random.
Pass the peas.
Or things you can say to your grandma but you can't say to your priest. You know.
Pass the cabbage.
I don't think
That's a euphemism.
I don't think those are even good examples, but just kind of, think of like the black cards from Cards Against Humanity, all the really kind of obnoxious questions, and then you have to get up on stage and say your answer to the question, and sometimes you get laughs, other times you don't. So,
Nice.
but
You also mentioned a show that you just started watching. I know you talked a little bit about Fallout in our group chat.
Yeah.
And don't spoil it because I haven't even started it yet.
Oh,
I'll
so
probably
good.
start it this weekend.
So good.
and all.
we can talk about that
But there
next
was
week.
do you guys want to do that as our take next week?
Yeah.
Whatever Fallout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you mentioned a show. I don't remember. It was
It was
Ghost Detective.
It was Surreal Estate. Real estate with surreal.
Ah,
So
I see what they did there.
He is a real estate agent who specializes in haunted dwellings and houses and whatnot. So he goes in there and figures out what's haunting the place and helps get
This
rid of it.
is not a reality
This
show.
is not a reality show.
Okay.
This is a drama.
Okay,
This is
got
a
it.
Is it
drama.
done in the same format as a reality show? Or?
No, I mean, when I said it was like the Property Brothers meets X-Files, it was kind of like because it's a real estate guy, and he's going to these places, and he's investigating the hauntings to figure out what's going on and how they can resolve it so they can sell the house.
Okay.
And the first one, it was a lot, I don't know what network this was on, because right now it's on Hulu, so and originally I don't know where it was. I think it came out like 4 years ago, and it ran, I think, for maybe 1 or 2 seasons. And I'm only like 4 episodes into it right now. It's the first episode. This woman has the house itself is haunted. It is not it's not like a ghost within the house. The house itself is possessed.
Oh, jeez.
And they go into the basement, and the basement's literally like a stone walkway. Like there's stone walls on either side. It's a big fucking house, but it has in the basement is a single walkway with stones on either side and a big metal door at the end. I was like, what kind of fucking house has that for your basement?
Too bad we can't stay.
Right? And he opens the door and there's a fucking wolf hiding inside. It's all got mange or some shit. It's all like rotting.
So it's not a comedy.
It's definitely not a comedy. It's like it's terrifying.
What is this on again?
I found it on Hulu.
Hulu.
Yeah.
And it's a series, first season.
I started it on the first season. Yeah.
How many episodes?
Hold on, I can pull it up.
What about you, Mike? Any
Da-da-da.
shows, TV, movies that you've seen?
I listened to with Giancarlo Esposito and oh man, who's the arbiter and the guy who survives at the end of The Thing? That guy, not Larry David.
Chuck, no.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, that guy. Anyway, so they're the big name in The Oyster, which is a cool audio drama.
Okay.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah.
Uh,
And because at first I was like, man, either this is Giancarlo or somebody's doing their very best version, but it really is.
It really is him.
Yeah.
Huh. David Keith.
David Keith?
Yeah. That's
Not
cool.
Keith David.
No. Jeez.
Yeah, so that was nice. The
Is that on
that's 8.
Spotify?
Yeah, it was first season, 8 episodes. That was kind of
Oh, jeez.
So it came out in 2021, 2 seasons, sci-fi horror.
I add it to the queue, man. I got so
I only recognized one of the actors, and that was one of the guest actors in like episodes 2 or 3. But everybody else, I think this is filmed up in Canada because I don't recognize anybody else. It says the Roman Entity team takes on a haunted master plan subdivision and a beautiful but troubled house. That's all. That's the current one I'm watching. Okay.
Yeah, remember Poltergeist?
Yeah, I was gonna say, you should have built that
Man,
house.
yeah, on the graveyard, yeah.
Well, and this episode is this guy designs this style of house and like dies towards the end of making this house for his wife. She left him for his brother or something. And then the guy's partner decided to take that design and make a whole neighborhood using that
So
design.
every house is.
And every house is now like haunted by the guy who designed the original house.
Huh. That sounds a job. Give it a try.
Like I said, I was like, it sounded like a stupid reality show when I saw the name of it. This is going to be like, the Ghost Adventures meets, like I said before.
Yeah. Is it more like the show Evil? That's all-
Yeah, it's like Evil except for
It's all based around a house. Right?
it's all based around real estate. Instead of it being a church group going into investigating these hauntings and stuff and having it being demons and whatnot, it's a real estate agent who has just the ability to see ghosts and things. And he has other people who have their own. It's very similar to Evil, where there's different people that have different skill sets, like the one guy who's like a techie guy, you have the woman who's like a non-believer who's aware of how the church works, that kind of thing. It's similar to that, but it's not really like about religion and whatnot. It's just about people who have these fucked up things happening in their homes while they're trying to sell their house. Like another episode was, there was a spirit or something in the house was showing itself to this 8-year-old boy as like his imaginary friend, and his folks were like, wow, he's got an imagination. We don't really believe in ghosts, but we're having all these weird things happening in the house, and we just want to have it looked at and see what's causing it, and blah, blah, blah. And so yeah, like I said, it's an interesting show. It's called Surreal Estate. I'll show you guys. Surreal Estate. And it's 2 seasons. Oh, and the link for the episode you see here. That was the question he had, and I totally forgot. Where's the list of episodes? I don't usually go to it from my phone, so I would say probably
Like an hour.
I would say probably an hour. I don't think it'd be short episodes. I don't think it'd be 30 minutes is usually like sitcom and stuff. But yeah, it's filmed up in Nova Scotia. So all the places you see are fucking beautiful.
Nice.
So,
All right, well, I spent a god-awful amount on an airplane, 14 actual hours in the plane over the last day, but they got all the free movies on the Delta flights.
Yep.
So I got all these free movies, so if you need to ask me about any of them, but Zone of Interest, Trolls, the new Trolls movie.
Oh!
ISS, the International Space Station movie where the Russians have to
Oh,
fight the
yeah.
Americans. And the Book of Clarence I watched, but I did fall asleep for about 20 minutes in the middle of it. And then I think there was a couple other movies, but I just binged. I was like, oh, they got all these free movies. I'm gonna friggin' watch it.
Geez. How was ISS then?
It was actually not as bad as I was expecting it to be. That they could have made it really cheesy, but it wasn't. And it's small production because it's a tight space and stuff. But they did have some shots of one of the guys has to go out and do a spacewalk, and there's a little bit of intrigue. Who can you trust? Kind of thing. And there was a little bit too much. Oh, I'm gonna backstab, but 3 Russians, 3 Americans on the space station.
and the Troll, that's the one with like the boy band.
The boy band one, yeah.
I've seen the first 2 and they're really funny. And
I like Trolls movies.
Yeah, I do
and they're
too.
well animated.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of movies coming out in the next month, they're gonna have the 40th anniversary of the Transformers the movie.
Oh, yeah, we
Whoa.
talked about this.
But I didn't say
Wow. Yeah.
I got my ticket. I'm gonna go see it in the theater. I have not seen it since 1986. I have the DVD. I've watched it many times, but I have not seen it in theaters since 1986.
Yeah. Boys, ending on something positive, because we've got to get to our top 5, our bonus round. There are a couple of Irish poets and playwrights. This one from George Bernard Shaw that I saw carved into a bench on the Trinity campus. You see things and say, why? But I dream things that never were, and I say, why not?
My favorite Irish proverb is, may the road rise to meet you, and may the wind at your back be your own.
Nice. And then this one I did when I was in Dublin. By myself wandered over to the Oscar Wilde statue, which was really fun. And just if you're an Oscar Wilde fan, it really kind of captured what I believe his essence is, right? Just playful and silly. But he wrote, "We are all in the gutter, but some of us are looking at the stars." So, and that comes from a play. It's more about how shitty men are, quote. But I like to generalize it. It's great for all humanity. Because we're all in a shitty place and we're all disappointed in the gutter. But some of us can look up and see the beauty. And he was a aesthetic, right? Somebody that just looks for art for beauty's sake, just art for art's sake.
Yeah.
So this fits, right? He was in the gutter, like the shitty, but you're looking up and you see the beauty of the world. So, anyways, throw a little Irish at you. Boys, good to be back. Good to see you
We
guys.
missed it, you Chuck.
Oh, nice. We do have to carve out some time to do a little Hot Rodders of the Apocalypse, hopefully coming up soon.
Yeah.
Let's get it going. Let's get it going.
Golly gee.
And for those of you sticking around for the bonus round on Patreon or in the members only section, we're doing our top 5 vacation spots, right?
Just top 5 places, top 5 vacation
Places.
Places you've been or want to
Oh,
go.
want to go, I could have.
Oh, jeez, yeah.
Heck out of that. All right, so we'll see you next week if you're leaving us here, and have a good one.
Bye.
Please like, subscribe, comment, and share. And if you think this episode is worth $1 or $5, the boys would love to have it. Please go to ourtownpod.store for merch or to donate now. For less than a cup of coffee, you can also join the website in the member-only area for exclusive bonus content, vlogs, and more. It's just $3 a month or $30 a year. Thank you for listening to this production of Our Town Podcast Extraordinaire.